Welcome, Damon Bruce with you as we get ready for NBA action here on 2K Sports. Wednesday in the NBA. It'll be Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers facing off against Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now let's get courtside with Kevin Harlan, who's ready to get things going out in Oklahoma City.
We've got the Los Angeles Lakers facing the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is Kevin Harlan here to call the action. With me, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. And now the Lakers starting group. Artest, Gasol, and Bynum are the front court. Fisher and Kobe man the backcourt. And for the Thunder, Durant, Ibaka, and Perkins compose the front court. Westbrook and Sefolosha in the backcourt.
Well, the Lakers had another good regular season a year ago, and they were tough against the Western Conference opponents. They went 36-16 in their conference.
Tip-off goes to the Lakers. Outside, Kobe. Gasol's in the post. Ibaka on him. And Gasol gets it to go. And plenty of tough teams in the West and Steve in the East, like you were talking about. But really, Clark, when you canvass the landscape of the NBA, none tougher than the Lakers.
Well, you know, they've got that confidence-building championship hardware that you can't ever overestimate. They don't fear anybody, and actually, if anything, they've been known to look past the team now and again. But in the Western Conference, you better be ready to play each and every time you tie those shoes up.
Outside Artest. Guarded now by Durant. Lets it go with a three. And there's Kobe. That's good on the assist by Artest. Kobe's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Scott Brooks. He is quite aware of the shot-blocking abilities on the other bench, but doesn't want to have his team change their game plan. He said it's okay to have a few shots turned away. If we start changing our offense or second-guessing shots, that is when their shot blockers start to be a major factor. Gentlemen?
All right, Doris, thanks. So, Clark, they're thinking mainly about how to tackle the defense they're facing.
It won't be easy, Kevin. I mean, they're going to have to take a few body shots before it's all said and done. It's going to be a battle.
Steve?
Yeah, I like that, Clark. Body shots. I mean, go inside early. Try to pound them inside, and then you can play inside out at that point, but try to soften up that defense and make them move around a little bit.
And the Thunder with some changes. Collison comes in for Kendrick Perkins. And it's Harden in for Thabo Sefolosha. And then for the Lakers, Barnes comes in for Ron Artest. And Steve Blake is subbed in for Derek Fisher. And he makes the free throw.
And Andrew Bynum, a guy who has been hit with injuries throughout his career. But when he's healthy, the Lakers are so tough to beat because of the length and size that Bynum and Gasol provide for that front line.
Now here's Collison. And again, it's Oklahoma City.
Tell you what, it's a huge plus to have him making shots like that.
And here is Blake. He feeds it to Gasol. Good luck. The shot is off. And the Thunder go the other way. And last season, there were a few grumbles, Steve, after Bynum missed the first month and a half of the season. You see, Bynum had delayed surgery after the finals, so that he could go to the World Cup soccer.
Well, when you're a pro basketball player, that has to be your first priority. I'm a big-time soccer fan myself, but Bynum may have made a boo-boo there.
Yep.
Yeah, but he was ready to go come playoff time, and, you know, that's kind of the Lakers' go-to philosophy. Just be ready when the playoffs show up. And he did play pretty well in the postseason. Great steal in the paint. Thought he might get a layup out of it, and he wound up turning it over.
And here's the Lakers. Blake with it. Back to Kobe. Shot on the wing, and he hits the jump shot. Kobe's got his second bucket of the night.
Kevin, his scoring ability is valuable, really valuable. I mean, he's a guy you can rely on to knock down shots.
Steps back and shoots. And Kevin Durant again. Durant's got 6.
You know, the Thunder guys showed their talent in the playoffs last season. I think that devastating loss to Dallas in Game 4 of the conference finals was where they finally kind of caved in.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
And Clark, you mentioned Game 4 of that Oklahoma City-Dallas series, a 15-point lead for the Thunder with 5 minutes left in the game. Dallas came back and forced overtime. And I remember the Thunder's incredible fans, even amidst the most heartbreaking loss of the season. They were chanting OKC, OKC till the bitter end. They have diehard support there in Oklahoma City.
Kendrick Perkins, he's checked in for the Thunder. Cephalosha comes in for Kevin Durant. And then for the Lakers, Theo Ratliff, he's just checked in for Bynum. Odom comes in for Pau Gasol. And it's Artest in for Matt Barnes. Here's Odom. Kicks it to Blake. Fades and shoots. Shot's good.
Now, Mike Brown taking over as coach of the Lakers this season, I think it's a good fit. He knows what it's like to coach a star because he had LeBron in Cleveland, played in a lot of big games. No doubt he'll be under the spotlight in L.A. with the Lakers. Well, credit the defense, but you've got to be more careful with the ball.
Kobe against Westbrook. Kobe can't hit. Well, Steve, going back to Mike Brown once more, they're going to expect a lot from him from the get-go, I would imagine, Clark, out in Los Angeles, where the NBA is #1 out there.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely some additional scrutiny and pressure. It'll be a little hotter on that seat for Mike Brown, but you know what? He coached LeBron James in Cleveland where expectations were high, and I've seen Mike grow as an assistant coach with the Pacers. He's a high-quality guy and a terrific basketball coach. It's win it all or nothing out in L.A., and I think at this point in his career, he's ready for the challenge.
And Perkins backs in. A step-back shot here. Good. Harden's got his first basket of the night. Throws it from deep. No one. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. It's the Thunder up by 2.
Just the start they wanted to this game. Solid offense. They got good ball movement. They established a nice rhythm.
Yeah, not stagnant at all. Free-flowing and fluid at the offensive end.
And we'll get back to the action right after this. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. Here's Maynard.
And when you ask anybody what sets Kobe apart as a player, more than anything else, they'll say it's his competitiveness. In fact, Lamar Odom, his teammate, said he's the most competitive player he's ever played with.
So with Kobe sitting on the bench, this is the group Mike Brown has right now. Odom plays the 4 with Bynum at the center. Derek Fisher out there with Brown, and it's Artest in at the 3 slot. You know, Steve, when you talk about Kobe's competitive drive, it's one thing to compete on the court, but that drive, that competitive drive, Clark, also is what's driven him to develop his game off the floor.
And that's where the work really takes place, Kevin. I mean, the games are the fun part. It's the work that you put into it that allows you to perform at your highest level. And that's a big reason the Lakers have been so successful in his time with the team. I mean, when your best player is also your hardest working player, we hear that all the time, but it's true. It's a fact. It's reality. Everyone on the team has to step it up or look like a slagger or a slugger. And that's not going to fly, particularly with a franchise like the Lakers.
You've played athletics all your life, have you ever been around a great athlete who wasn't the hardest worker on any team at any level?
No, you wouldn't be. You would see tremendous talent, not realize its potential, but the ones that get the most out of their God-given ability, not only are they gifted, but they also really work at it.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burdick. Doris, what do you have?
Kevin, Pau Gasol grew up in the diverse, artistic town of Barcelona, Spain, and his interests reflect that. A lover of opera, the fine arts, an avid reader, a former med school student. He's an intellectual. But Gasol's multifaceted interests are a concern for some in L.A., who might prefer him to have the single-minded focus on basketball of his teammate Kobe Bryant. Gasol said, "I don't like to be in a little box or in a bigger box. I just like to be open." Interesting stuff, guys.
Thank you, Doris.
And I don't think Gasol's off-the-court interest should be a concern. I mean, really, he was the key to them winning their last 2 titles when you look at it.
Yeah, winning 3 in a row is a lot harder than people realize. I think the Lakers are still very dangerous, and Gasol is a big reason why.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder.
Well, the Thunder have one heck of a home court advantage here in Oklahoma City. I mean, they don't call it Loud City for nothing.
And the Thunder with some changes. Kevin Durant's checked in for Cephalosha. Daquan Cook comes in for James Harden. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Eric Maynard. And the Lakers also making a switch. Gasol's checked in. So here's Westbrook. Six to shoot. Here's Cook. A three-pointer is right on target. And the Thunder lead by 2. But for the Thunder last season, 30-11 on their home floor, but this crowd has been packing the building even when they had the 4th worst record in the NBA.
Well, Oklahoma City is a one-sport town, a one-team town, Kevin. The only major sports team there, and the fans so passionate there, and they're very fortunate to have a talented young club to follow and to support. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this team develops over the next few years. They've got a great home court advantage.
Artest against Perkins. From the wing, and there's another one for the Thunder. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
And the Lakers call time here.
And how about that surprise trade at the trade deadline a year ago? Kendrick Perkins going from Boston to Oklahoma City for Jeff Green. And I think the Thunder really believes that Perkins can be their missing piece. They knew they needed help down low defensively and with size, and Perkins is that guy.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Nick Collison's checked in for Perkins. And it's Harden in for Serge Ibaka. The Lakers also changing it up. Andrew Bynum's checked in for Odom. Barnes comes in for Ron Artest. And Kobe is subbed in for Shannon Brown. Here's Kobe. 5 points in the game. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Clark, back to Perkins for just a moment. His playoff calculator was a little bit up and down there. And I know they made the trade at midseason with Boston. They liked him initially. Take a look at where he fits right now.
That's a good point, Kevin. On the surface, you thought it would be a nice acquisition. I still think so. Again, you've got to give these things some time. He brings experience. He brings championship pedigree. And he brings some physical presence to the middle that I think can be helpful. Now you have to figure out how to best integrate that into kind of a Greyhound-type, athletic, young, developing Oklahoma City Thunder team.
I thought he was at his best when Garnett was right there, and they're barking back and forth and setting that Boston D.
Hey, that's a very good observation by you. You make a few of those on occasion.
Sometimes I read your book. That's how I know this. Now here's Durant. He's got 6. Poked away and stolen by Fisher.
A lot of hands down there on the block. That's a tough position to be in offensively.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, most NBA players will tell you that one of the toughest arenas to play in the league is in Oklahoma City. The Thunder have found success in their new home. They are consistently one of the top teams in attendance, and last year was no different. It has been likened to a college atmosphere. As Cole Aldrich said to the fans, no doubt the NBA's loudest fans are in Oklahoma City. Guys, we can't deny it.
Thanks, Doris.
Well, you might be right about this Thunder crowd. I mean, there's no question they are one of the loudest crowds in the NBA. So much energy. They just love this team. And remember, it's the only show in town here in Oklahoma City.
So it's the Lakers now. James Harden picking up that last basket. Outside Westbrook. He's covered by Fisher. Westbrook kicks to Harden. Tries again. Collison, no good.
Well, neither team has really gained an edge rebounding-wise here, and the score reflects that.
Well, if one team can start hitting the boards harder, I mean, it'll give them a good chance to pull away.
Now here's Kobe over Westbrook. And there's Kobe. That's good on the assist from Derek Fisher.
That lead should be safe if they keep shooting like this.
Well, they're on fire. I mean, they're absolutely on target and looking to pad that scoring total, too.
Here's Westbrook. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Right side, Collison. Just 5 on the clock. Shoots over Kobe, and that one's good. Westbrook. Westbrook's got 6.
You see very few mistakes from him at that end of the floor.
Lakers lead by 5.
Welcome and thanks for joining me here on the HP Halftime Report. I'm Damon Bruce. The Los Angeles Lakers in front against Oklahoma City. And from outside, you couldn't shoot it much better than this. They are scorching hot from beyond the arc. Some terrific basketball from Kobe. He has 11 points and also been chipping in on the glass, hauling in a few rebounds. And the Thunder, man, they're putting up a fight. One look at their shooting percentage from the floor, and it's easy to see why the first half broke the way it did. Russell Westbrook off to a good start. He hasn't put up overwhelming numbers, but without him, where would they be so far in this one? That'll just about do it here at the HP Halftime Report. The rest of the game coming right up.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Here's Westbrook.
Well, one of the things that has made the Lakers so good is their depth and their balance. In fact, last year, defensively, they had the 5th lowest field goal percentage defense in the league, under 44% for their opponents.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. Taking a look at the Thunder, Durant, Ibaka, and Perkins compose the front court. Westbrook and Cephalosha in the backcourt. That free throw, no good. And for the Lakers, Clark, that big front court, a big part why they're so tough defensively. Steve just said a percentage defensively under 44%.
Well, length is hard to score over. I mean, they've got some tough defenders up and down the roster, really, and they play a physical style. I mean, you think about a guy like Matt Barnes, Ron Artest. Kobe is a killer defensively when he's locked in. And then they're all experienced, too. I mean, that adds to that defensive prowess as well.
Now here's Gasol. Over Durant. The shot, no good. And the Thunder go the other way. Westbrook passes to Ibaka. Outside Durant. Moving it around nicely. Clock at 6. Westbrook dishes to Perkins. Good.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
Here's Fisher. Now here's Kobe. He's covered closely. Top of the key. Count the bucket. Kobe's got 13.
And one of the things I really respect about Kobe Bryant, guys, is the fact that he continues to get better and refine his game. He's gotten a lot better down on the block, a lot like Michael Jordan did later on in his career.
Here's Fisher. Backing down is Bryant. And Steve, speaking of Kobe's postgame, he worked with Hakeem Olajuwon, Clark, as I recall, in the offseason to pick up a few tricks.
And you know, Kobe already had great footwork, Kevin, to begin with. I mean, a master of those pump fakes, but it starts with balance and good footwork. And he was really a quick study under Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm not surprised.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Odom comes in for Andrew Bynum, and Steve Blake is subbed in for Derek Fisher. Now here's Westbrook. He has 7. Deflects the pass. Gasol with the steal.
And the double team forced that turnover. That's why he coughed the ball up.
Little turnaround. Again, the Lakers.
I tell you what, fellas, he loves those mid-range jumpers. I mean, that's where he makes his money. Scott Brooks enjoyed a long career in the NBA before becoming a coach, playing point for a lot of teams over the course of 11 seasons in the league.
And that one's good. Durant.
Beautiful dish there and a superb finish.
Here's Kobe. 13 points in the game. There's the feed to Blake. Inside to Gasol. Yes, and it's Blake picking up the assist. 6 points for Pau Gasol. Going back to Brooks. Even won a title, Steve, with the 94 Rockets.
Yeah, he was a tough player. One of those guys who'd pick you up full court, 94 feet, defend and scrap and claw for everything. And not really surprising to me that he eventually became a coach. He took advantage of that pick, and he did the rest, knocking down the J.
And the Lakers call time here.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
For the Thunder, Harden comes in for Cephalosha. And it's Maynard in for Russell Westbrook. Here's Gasol. He's got 6. Harden is tagged with the reach. That is his first foul of the game. .153 left here in the third quarter. Here's Kobe. And there's Gasol. That's good on the assist from Kobe. 8 points for Pau Gasol.
And, you know, coming off consecutive championships, the Lakers last season actually took a big step forward offensively. They really improved their offensive efficiency.
Here's Maynard. Harden kicks to Durant. Over Odom. And it's Durant, that time on the assist by Harden. Durant's got 6 in the quarter.
Guys, he's really shot the ball well. It's definitely not his fault they find themselves trailing in this.
You're right, Steve. Up to 7th in offensive efficiency in terms of points per possession in the NBA. And Clark, you know, for the Lakers, an established roster, not surprising. They get better offensively as they continue to develop that chemistry.
Well, familiarity. I mean, as you look at the Lakers, they are a team that has stayed together. And they continue to grow and understanding each other as teammates. You see that also in their turnover numbers last season. I mean, they had the 5th lowest turnovers in the league, and that's about skill and also chemistry. And they've got a pretty good amount of both.
No good from Perkins. Lakers leading by 6.
And a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Yeah, they've got to hurry. Step on the gas here.
Here's Gasol. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Gasol's got 10 points.
Well, it's been nice, efficient work, guys, that he's been doing. I mean, we haven't seen him take many bad shots, and that's the sign of a mature, poised player.
Here's Maynard. With 1 on the clock, good on the shot. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. You look at Kobe Bryant in this game, I mean, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, the points have really come in bunches for him so far, and not really a surprise because you know exactly what he can do.
Well, he's been in the groove all game long, Steve, and not too many hiccups in regards to his shooting, but we also have come to expect this from him, so we're not surprised by it.
Back in a moment from Oklahoma City. And now let's send it to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark of the game. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Lakers that garners the Sprite Spark today. The team got on a hot streak in the second quarter, started scoring in bunches, and haven't let up since. It's the main reason why they head into the fourth with this great lead.
All right, Doris, thank you. That run has made a difference, guys. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what got them off and going.
Yeah, they were really able to seize the momentum at that point, and they just rode it.
So with Kobe sitting on the bench, this is the group Mike Brown has right now. Odom, Powell, and Bynum, the front court trio. Brown out there with Derek Fisher. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Odom, and so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
You know, when Lamar Odom came into the league, a lot of people thought he could be a franchise player. He never really became that type of guy, but he's the perfect wingman for Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. Kind of a Scottie Pippen type floor leader, ball distributor, and an excellent all-around player.
Steve just talked about Odom as a wingman. It seems to be the role he's much more comfortable with, too.
Yeah, I think he likes just being a basketball player. He doesn't have the pressure to score night in and night out at a frantic pace, which I think helps him and his team because he can be a little streaky in that regard. But the role he has as being a basketball player with versatility that can do a lot of things, that's what he's best suited for. Look, I mean, the Thunder 2 seasons ago managed to give the Lakers a run for their money in the first round, but in this last season's playoffs, they put the league on notice that their sights were and are much higher.
And I think, Clark, around the league, the Thunder have been held up as the example of how you build a contender from the ground up. They certainly, Steve, lived up to that praise, I thought, this past season.
Yeah, they really seem to have all the pieces that a team needs to contend for a championship. A star player and Kevin Durant, great point guard, and Russell Westbrook. They've got complementary pieces as well. And now it's just a matter of letting this team grow and move forward together.
And so he hits both.
Tell you what, Russell Westbrook was a big part of the Thunder's run in the playoffs last year. At times he could take over games, and that's what I like about him. He's a guy that can be a difference maker.
Now here's Brown, poked loose, stolen by Durant.
And nice swipe there. You could see his eyes get wide open when he saw the opportunity to take the ball.
Lands off on the front of the rim and drops. Clark was talking about Westbrook. He was averaging more shot attempts in the playoffs, Steve, than he was in the regular season.
Well, and I didn't have any problem with that. I mean, sometimes in the playoffs, the defense is tougher and your more athletic players have to create for themselves, particularly at the end of the shot clock. The big thing for Westbrook is just developing his point guard skills and understanding circumstances and game situations, time and score, that kind of thing. And I think he's going to get better and better as he goes forward. Tell you what, credit the defense there. They really contested that layup.
Fisher, the pass to Bynum, defended by Durant. Bynum against Durant. Shot clock at 6. Three-pointer, and that one's good from Fisher.
I tell you what, he'll be quite contented to sit out there beyond the arc and knock down shot after shot if they're going to play defense like that. Tighten it up out there.
Now here's Westbrook. Over Fisher, and that one's good. Westbrook. Westbrook's got 4 points in the quarter.
Just an unbelievable display of offense here today.
Well, it seems like every shot that goes up finds its way to the hoop. I mean, every player is sharp and on target.
And the Lakers call time here. From Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. I got a chance to hear what Mike Brown was saying to the team. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
All right, Doris. Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Kendrick Perkins, who's checked in for Cephalosha. Ibaka comes in for Kevin Durant. And Daquan Cooks subbed in for James Harden. Fisher dishes to Bynum. Hits the jump hook. And the Lakers lead by 6.
His presence in the paint gives their offense such a valuable dimension.
Fisher against Westbrook. Inside to Perkins. Rebound by Ron Artest.
Now, he was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. The first one falls. He hits one and misses one, each at the line. Thunder trailing by 7. Here is Cook. Left side Westbrook. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. That's on Derek Fisher.
Well, Westbrook has been great. He has 11 points, and he's done a good job distributing the ball as well.
Well, you can't discount what that's meant to this team. I mean, he's helped their cause with his passing, and it's really given his team a nice groove.
And the first of 2 misses. Kevin Durant's checked in for the Thunder. Harden comes in for Daquan Cook. The Lakers also changing it up. Gasol comes in for Ron Artest. And it's Odom in for Matt Barnes. Connects on number 2, and that trims the lead to 6.
Now, even though they're down, I like their mentality. Work it inside and try to create some contact down low.
I like it as well. I mean, you just can't assume that you can shoot your way back into it when you're down. You got to grind it out, and part of that is getting the ball inside.
Here's Fisher. Westbrook with the steal.
Kevin, he didn't turn the ball over once in the first half, but it's been a different story for him since the break.
Got that one up quick. Durant's got 10 points here in the second half. Timeout called the Lakers. They're ahead by 4. 1:25 left to play here in the fourth. Here's Fisher. Outside, Kobe pushes up, and he makes good on the layup. And the Lakers lead by 6.
And across the board, his stats, just amazing.
Well, he's monogrammed this game in a big way.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're losing by 6. There's 1:17 left in the fourth quarter. There's 1:17 left in the fourth quarter, and the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. Here's Fisher. Westbrook picks him up. Fisher against Westbrook. Goes up, and there's Kobe. That's good on the assist from Derek Fisher. 18 points for Kobe Bryant.
This is not what they wanted to let happen. They're just getting pounded inside.
Yeah, they are, Steve. And I mean, they're just not making life difficult at all for scorers in the paint. I mean, that's an area that you've got to protect with force and aggressiveness, and we haven't seen it.
Here's Kobe. 51 seconds left in the fourth. Fisher. Five to shoot. Here's Kobe. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
Tell you what, the defender made a nice recovery there. It looked like he was beaten, but he still managed to challenge the shot.
Just his first attempt. Money! And now they trail by just 4.
Guys, you're not going to get away with that kind of defense when he's got the ball. I mean, you got to do better than that.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
And fouling now is really your only option.
Yeah, and you just got to hope he misses the free throw so you can get back in the game, Steve.
Gets the first. That puts them up by 5. Perfect from the line, and it's a 6-point ballgame.
Big foul there. He hits the clutch free throws and pads their lead.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're behind by 6. 17 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
Well, there's a little bit of time here to play with, so a 3 and a quick foul could make things interesting.
Very much so. Either way you cut it, they're going to need a pair of threes and some help at the other end as well.
So here's Westbrook. And stolen by Fisher.
A fantastic steal. He knew exactly when to jump into that passing line. Well done.
And he misses the first one. Does make the second, and that makes it a 7-point lead. 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Now Westbrook over Fisher. Count it!
The defense playing way too soft there, guys. He's just getting right to the rim.
And so the Lakers take the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Kobe Bryant.